Hey up, Sofa Squad, and welcome to another edition of On the Sofa. And with me on the sofa this evening, I've got scientist Mel.
Hi.
And purple rhymes with orange.
I think Purple said they'd be right back.
Yes, he did, didn't he?
He'll be back shortly.
He must be doing He must be doing something of paramount importance.
Yes.
Yeah. Anyway. You're back. How are you both?
I'm okay. I'm trying to maintain my sanity during the Rona, which is becoming increasingly difficult.
Okay. Yes.
Sanity is overrated.
It really is, but I kind of need it. I was in a lecture. I was lecturing last night. And was it last night? See, I don't even know my days anymore. They're like, time does not matter.
They do just kind of all blur together.
It's Thursday, right? Am I correct that it's Thursday?
It's Thursday.
It's Thursday. Let us get mightily hammered.
There you go.
Yeah.
So yesterday I was talking about, was it Wednesday? I think it was Wednesday or Monday. I don't know.
Well, I've only had one beer, but it's quite a strong beer. It's 6.2%. So I'm just a little bit tipsy.
You get tipsy at 6.2%?
Yes, I'm a bit of a lightweight, but
that's okay.
It is on top of my antidepressants. So
I see.
And they say you shouldn't take alcohol with them, but screw that.
Yeah.
It's like the CDC, will give information and they'll say, please do not eat raw cookie dough. And people are like, screw you, CDC. I will eat all of this raw cookie dough forever.
Actually, I was just having a discussion on Twitter with Sir Sick and Inane Dragon about painkillers and alcohol.
Oh,
and I was saying where it says in the medication instructions, alcohol may intensify this effect. I thought that was a serving suggestion.
Sir Sick, he's been on Power Man stuff, and I've been on Power Man's channel before doing voiceover work for him.
Power Man? I don't know who that is.
Miles Power. He has been on the YouTubes for a while. He's a huge debunker of the miracle mineral solution, MMS, and anti-vaxxers and all that stuff. He's kind of like a British Jeff Holiday, but less with the dirty humor. So,
man, that's a new one to me. I'll have to check it out later.
But Sir Sick also does stuff for.
I love Sir Sick. He's brilliant, and I like Miles Power as well. They're both really good.
Miles has been on my channel before. It was pretty cool. I think what were we? I don't remember what we were talking about. Big Pharma, the myths behind Big Pharma, which was cool. Doc Savage was. That's when I was doing Oral Audacity with Doc.
Okay. And Purple. I understand you've hit a bit of a milestone.
The 400 subs, just a couple of days ago.
Oh, congrats. That's cool.
Yeah, I've only been at it for 3 years.
I haven't broken 3,000 and I've been at it for a couple years, so it's okay. But I'm not really pushing hard my channel.
I was going to say, I really can't complain. It's not like I put out a lot of effort for the stuff I've been doing. I'm pretty much just doing the random live chats. I've got to get back to doing more edited videos if I really want to get anybody's interest.
Yeah, I haven't really done edited videos before. I do mostly live streams, which is probably my problem.
Yeah, but you do research for your stuff.
Yeah, I do, but still, not everybody wants to sit there and listen to me talk for however long.
I'm working on a video at the moment and it's the most research that I've ever done in my life.
Mhm.
I'm telling you. So yeah, I'm hoping it's going to be really good. I'm hoping it's going. I hope it's popular because I've worked really hard on it. I'm actually quite proud of it. Even if I do say so myself. And
Mhm.
I'm not going to mention any names yet, but I've got a special guest on this one.
Ooh, cool.
So yeah, watch this space, as they say.
Ooh. Intrigue.
Yeah, because I took a year out, for my mental health, for mental health reasons, I'm kind of starting again from scratch. But my channel is beginning to slowly grow now, which is good. It's beginning to steadily grow.
Mhm.
Yeah, it actually may be
Incumbent-
harder to try and restart an old channel than to start a new one from scratch.
Yeah, I'm finding that. Yeah, but anyway, into the show. Have you guys heard about what's happening in Myanmar at the moment?
There was some kind of coup attempt.
Not an attempt; it's actually happened.
Oh, it actually happened. Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
basically the military took over and ousted the seated government.
Yeah.
Ah.
Aung San Suu Kyi is actually being detained by the military as we speak.
Mhm.
And but the thing is, the first time she was under house arrest years ago, she was everybody's hero. Everybody loved her, and
Mhm.
rooted. Were rooting for her. But then, when she actually gained power, unfortunately, she did a bit of genocide
Ah.
against the Muslim population of Myanmar.
I see.
So, we all kind of hate her now. But so it's kind of ironic that she's kind of gone full circle. She was under house arrest, then she was, then she was the leader,
Mhm.
and now she's under house arrest again.
Yeah,
Hello,
I found an
Tories.
article. I found an article on the BBC about it. I'm catching up.
It's dual. Yeah, I have to say I don't really know much about what the situation was there before the
Here.
military decided to take over.
Yeah, I'll post it here in our private chat and you can have a look if you want. This is what I'm looking at. And it has some videos. So,
Yeah.
hello, Stool.
Mostly the whole thing went viral because there was this woman doing her exercise course in the park and filming it, and you see all the military vehicles rolling by behind her up to the Capitol.
Okay, you're you're jumping the gun a little bit because we're going to talk about that later. We're going to talk about that.
Well, we didn't get an agenda.
Well.
I have the agenda.
You're a twanger. You don't count, twanger.
I've got a big agenda, so I know I'm late.
Yeah, I don't believe your agenda is really that big.
It's not big.
It's
His
so
agenda's like this thick.
That's
like
why I'm
that
late.
thick right there.
That's why I'm late. My agenda's so big and heavy.
It's like a thin piece of paper.
It's a pencil agenda.
He's like,
so.
Yep.
Yeah. This is what's happening at the moment. This is from the BBC. Myanmar, also known as Burma, is in Southeast Asia and neighbours Thailand, Laos, Bangladesh, China, and India.
Yep.
So there it is on the map. And
I always thought it was Myanmar.
I've heard it. So did I. But I was watching the news earlier, and they pronounced it Myanmar.
Again, I think that's a question of whether it's a British or an American reporter.
Right.
It was an English reporter. Yeah.
Potato.
So power has been handed over to the commander in chief, Min Aung. I'm gonna butcher this. Ming Un Helene. I'm sorry if I butchered that name. Sorry, I apologize. He has long wielded significant political influence, successfully maintaining the power of the Tatmadaw, Myanmar's military, even as the country transitioned towards democracy. There he is. He's the leader of the coup.
Mm.
And
But apparently thought they were getting too close to democracy, so we got to put a stop to that.
yeah. And I think Biden, was saying that he's not too happy about this. And I think our government was saying that they're not too happy about it either.
Yeah.
So where what action they're going to take remains to be seen.
I think we've got so much crap going on in America right now. We probably can't deal with that just yet. Oh my God. We are impeaching Trump again.
Yeah. Again. Yeah.
Well, and
it's like the Teletubbies. Again.
We should be impeaching a number of members of Congress, but that's not going to happen.
We need to do that. Ted Cruz needs to be up there. All of these just slimy, disgusting, bottom of a dumpster behind a Thai restaurant in the middle of summer individuals.
Yeah, Marjorie Taylor Greene, who is now trying to backpedal on some of her stuff, but at the same time trying to promote QAnon to being the same level as legitimate media.
That is not the same. Yeah, no.
Yeah.
I mean, that's funny. She's like, I believe those things because I didn't believe CNN or Fox News, so I went to Facebook. What? Facebook, who actually has had ethical issues for actually doing experiments on Facebook users. They did you guys ever hear about that?
Yeah.
They did experiments. They actually did experiments on their users to determine their mood and what kind of posts they would make if Facebook shifted the algorithm to where if it was particularly bad news or bad anything. There were actually doing experiments on that.
Yeah.
Without the consent of Facebook users.
I hadn't heard about that, but it doesn't surprise me.
No, it doesn't surprise me either. And talking of Marjorie Taylor Greene, I've got something to share with you guys. So I hope you've got your bath bags ready.
Okay.
Because there's some footage of, I don't know if you can see the footage here.
Mm-hmm. We can see it. I can see the footage. What is she? Is she like grabbing his crotch?
Yeah.
Oh my God. What is she saying? I can't hear it. So
let's see if I can I
yeah. I don't know. You probably have to share everything. Is she?
Well, for StreamYards, when you go into the share, before you select the thing, there's a little box you have to check to share audio. So you kind of need to redo the share if you want to bring the audio up.
Oh, okay.
And I'm putting here in our private chat the Facebook.
Just on the first screen where it asks you if you want to share like a tab or a window, there's a little box down there on the lower left corner that you have to check for share audio.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let's see if I can do that again. Dave, share screen. And then
yeah, it confused me too until somebody pointed it out.
But it's amazing. There we go.
There we go.
And I gotta do one more thing. I always do this. I just love this guy so much. He's fantastic. This guy right here is great. Standing up in there in the mucky swamp. Diane always has him in the mucky swamp. Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's amazing.
Ugh.
Yeah.
So what she's
there you
saying
go.
is, I want to have Trump's baby.
Nobody
Yeah.
wants that. I don't think anybody actually wants that. I really, really don't. I think they make that up in their head, and then when it comes right down to it, they're like, yeah, no, man, not for real. I was just here for the clicks.
Yeah. She's a ghastly woman.
Yes. Did you see what she said about David Hogg? The one of the students. It was one of our thousands of school shootings. Had basically said he was a trained dog, and he survived. I think it was at Sandy Hill. I think it was Sandy Hill.
Sandy Hook.
No, Sandy Hook is a different one.
Oh, okay.
That was the Alex Jones one. This one was a few years ago. Oh God. Well, she called David Hogg, who's an activist now. He's taken up activism for gun control. Called him a trained dog. And they put her on the education committee. And when that came out, they were like, this is a bad idea. She denies school shootings. She thought Sandy Hill or, whatever with Alex Jones, believe that crap. She doesn't need to be on an education committee.
Well, the House just voted to remove her from the committee today.
Fantastic. Did they win?
Yeah, but it predictably went along party lines.
Yeah, of course.
The vote split is exactly the ratio of Democrats to Republicans in the House.
Of course.
Okay.
Well, maybe she's different now. We got to give her a chance. Do we, though?
No.
Do we?
Well, but I'm glad you're here still, because
No,
I'm going to talk about. Oh, okay. I'm not glad you're here then. But oh, you've got the swap shot behind you. Nice, brilliant.
Sorry, I was multitasking like crazy there.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And but we're coming over to our side of the Atlantic now,
Oh, good.
because you're up on British politics, aren't you? You know what's happening.
I know everything, yes. I've got an agenda that's mighty.
Yeah,
So-
Mike Royce needs to have at least one other Brit in here to do their politics.
Yes. So the Tories abstained on the inflammable cladding. I can't get the words out. On stopping
The stuff that
flammable
burns.
cladding. Yeah. They abstained on Labour's proposal to stop high-rise buildings being made out of flammable cladding.
Mm.
Oh, you mean like the green? Oh, what was it?
Grenfell.
Grenfell. Yes.
Yeah.
I remember when that happened. I was like, oh my.
Yes. Now, the sad thing is, yeah, you're really glad I'm here. The sad thing is, there are thousands and thousands of people in the country now who can't sell the place in which they live, or their insurance has gone to unaffordable levels.
Stool, you're being very quiet. Can you turn your mic up a little bit?
I'm being quiet.
Yeah, I'm having trouble hearing you.
Oh. I don't know what I've done. Have I broken it? Is this better?
Slightly, but not a lot.
Oh, like StreamYards has messed things again.
Oh. But anyway, yeah. They, after all their posturing and bluff, and saying that they were going to do all they could to ensure that Glenfell never happened again. they had an opportunity to ensure just that. And when it came to it, they abstained.
So they'll do everything they can until it's actually on the record.
Yeah. So yeah, the article says Conservative MPs have abstained in a parliamentary vote calling on the government to take action to remove flammable cladding from buildings more quickly. Labour, which tabled the motion, says up to 11 million people may still be living in homes with unsafe cladding similar to that blamed for the 2017 Grenfell Tower tragedy.
Yeah,
Shadow.
It's a huge problem because, like I was saying, if I can be heard, there are lots of people who are stuck now in unsafe homes that they can't sell, can't afford the insurance for because the insurance is like quadrupled or whatever.
Oh.
And it's a big shitty deal.
Yeah. It is. It's the Tory party once again proving that they are the nasty party.
They are pretty gross.
Worse than that. They're vile.
They are. But hey, at least we're getting Brexit done.
Are you though?
It seems all they've done with Brexit is try to run out the clock.
Yeah.
Man.
And oh dear, what's happening?
Yeah, they're kind of like, we're not actually going to do anything. We're just going to wait and see what gets forced upon us.
Yeah.
Oh, but they are doing things, but they're just incredibly stupid things.
Yeah.
I mean, really, really stupid things.
And now apparently there was violence on the Northern Ireland border. Apparently,
It started to kick off over there again, so that was not predictable. They've had to, at a certain a certain port, I think, over there, they've had to turn lorries around because there were groups of people seen loitering with balaclavas and, the usual stuff.
Yeah. And of course, they were warned that this shit would happen, but they didn't listen, and now it's happening.
It is utterly ridiculous because the latest shenanigans, our friend Weasley Michael Gove has said that he's going to have strong words with the EU about the border between Britain and Northern Ireland, which doesn't actually exist according to Boris Johnson, because there isn't one, except there is.
Yeah.
And all that crazy nonsense. And we demand an extension to this discussion process, which we said we weren't going to allow an extension for a few months ago. It's just backwards up.
Yeah. They're incompetent.
It's not just incompetence. It is. They're massively incompetent. They're the Keystone Cops. They're incompetent criminals, and that's dangerous.
Yes, it is.
Absolute knobbleheads.
Yeah. And what do we think about the launch of the British Fox News?
Is there a British Fox News?
There's going to be.
I thought they had kicked Fox out of the UK.
Well, the British equivalent to Fox News, I should have said.
Oh.
It's called GB News.
Yeah.
and it's going to have a right wing but it's going to have a right wing bias.
Very right wing. I mean, the fact that they called it GB News kind of excludes Northern Ireland, which is kind of weird. But hey, Rule Britannia and all that shit.
Yeah.
But it will be an awful shit show, obviously, because of who they'll have on it. But more disturbingly is that the Conservatives have just decided who's going to be the chairman of Ofcom. And he's a right-wing Nazi as well.
Yes.
The chairman of the BBC is also one of those. So we're just turning into fucking Fox News Light in this country.
Yeah. It's let's see if I can. There he is.
Brillo pad.
Yeah, I'm old enough to remember when some news networks actually attempted to give a balanced report.
Andrew Neil, of course. Yeah, he's the man behind this. He's going to be the new anchor man of GB News. And who else has been lined up to be broadcasters?
Julia Hartley Brewer.
Yes.
Okay, so my question is, who put the money behind this to get this on the air?
Oh, and Nick Ferrari.
Yes, him as well. And
I cannot stand those. The money is coming from rich right-wing people, probably with some help from American groups.
Yeah, that's part of why I was asking. I was wondering if Fox News might actually be funding this.
Oh no, that wouldn't be allowed. No, they can't do that.
Yeah, like that stops any of them today.
No, they literally would not be allowed to do that. That's a big no-no.
Yes, it says in this article, Nick Ferrari and Julia Hartley Brewer could be, could be hosts as well.
For the benefit of our American friends, those two are vile, and they both on different radio stations. They both host the kind of breakfast show thing. Ferrari is just like Jabba the Hutt. He's oh god, he's horrible. He really is.
Yeah.
First, he annoys me because he's on my radio every morning, and because I'm me, I can't be asked to switch channels because there's nothing else to listen to. And I don't like him because he's a lying cunt he used to be the editor of the Daily Mail or whatever. So he sells outrage basically.
Yeah.
But does it in such a way that his fans think he's having intelligent conversation. But it's not. He's just baiting them with outrage about race and whatever. Julia Hartley Brewer is an extremely vile piece of filth. She is one of the group of people over here, famous people with a big platform, who are spreading utter lies and misinformation about COVID, vaccines, masks, etc. Attacking people on the Twitters, spreading utter nonsense on the Twitters about COVID. She's filth. Absolutely.
Yeah, she is.
So her and Ferrari, them together on the same channel. Oh dear, not good.
Yeah, it's not going to be good.
No, lots of Union Jacks and Rule Britannia.
Yeah.
We're not saying they're brown, but they're brown.
Yes.
Ooh, immigrants.
Yeah. And apparently, in other news, mutation, the Kent COVID-19 variant of it has mutated.
Mm-hmm.
And the scientists are saying that it could impact the effectiveness of the vaccine.
Yep.
That's what I've been worried about.
Door-to-door testing is being carried out.
Yeah. With them being so slow to get the vaccine out, I've been worried about how effective is it going to be by the time I can actually get one, which will, at this point, probably not be until sometime in the summer.
Just to clarify this door-to-door testing malarkey, I'm old enough to remember last year when the government totally lied and fudged the figures about how many tests were being done. So I don't believe it for a second, the numbers that they're giving out. Also, the door-to-door testing is somebody knocking on your door and saying, here is a testing kit, see you later.
Yeah.
And that will be counted as a test, whether it's done or not.
Yeah, exactly.
So they're just counting how many kits they give out, not how many results are returned?
Yeah, that's how it's been since last year. Last March.
Yeah.
So for anyone who decides not to shove a cotton swab up their nose.
Very briefly, last March, beginning of March, I think it was, Johnson said, we aim, because they love setting imaginary goals, we aim to test 100,000 people per week, I think, or whatever. No, per day, I think it was. No, per month. Or maybe it was per day, I can't remember. The following day, that had to be changed to 100,000 tests, because tests and people are not the same thing.
Right.
And then at the end of the month, all of a sudden, right at the end of the month, to make this deadline, the figures, one day's figures leapt up by over 40,000 tests. Magically leapt up because they'd been on this drive to mail out testing kits. And if you requested one or one was sent out, that was counted, regardless if anything was done with it, returned or whatever. That's they lie. They lie.
Yeah, that's definitely manipulating the numbers. They should only be counting the ones that they've got in return that they could actually get a reading off of.
It's one of those things that has been forgotten about because it's further back than yesterday. But at the time, in one of the daily press briefings, live TV, one of the journalists said, why are you counting it like this? Why don't you count tests done? And one of the science guys, not one of the politician people, said, oh, that's perfectly normal. That's how you do it. But it makes no sense to me. And there were people saying at the time they'd had these things sent to them without requesting them. So they just appeared through the letterbox out of nowhere. So that gets counted. They'd received kits that were damaged or had parts missing. They'd phoned the number and they were told, oh, just throw it away. It doesn't matter. You know.
Yeah. It's unbelievable. Unbelievable.
And we wonder why we're leading the world in the COVIDs.
Well, I wouldn't even see it as being a bad idea to send the kits out to everyone, regardless of who requests them. But yeah, you can't count them until they're returned.
That's what they do. So as good as these numbers are that they're telling us now, if they're true, wonderful, how many vaccinations are being carried out per day. I mean, it's a huge number if it's true. But I can't believe it, I'm afraid.
But who was it who said that, there are lies, damn lies, and statistics?
What's wrong, Dean?
It's an absolute cock-up. The lady, Dido.
Yes.
I mean, she's got a stupid name anyway, but Dido Harding, who's in charge.
I thought you meant the singer for a second.
That would be better. That would be a lot better.
He's gone cold, I'm wondering why.
She's a big Tony. She's a big Tory donor.
Yeah.
And she was the chairman, the top person of Talk, a mobile phone company, which suffered a huge data breach. Lots of people's personal data got out and went wherever, Russia or somewhere. So she's not good at this. But she was put in charge of the virusy things. No experience whatsoever. And yesterday she said, Well, nobody could have predicted that a virus would mutate.
Yeah, I saw that. I thought that was pretty funny. Do you want to listen?
Yeah.
Nina's listening to what y'all have to say. I'm putting my earbud.
Don't put her too near the mic, or she might catch the COVIDs.
She's looking at me like, "What are you doing?"
That's how good we are at the COVIDs. We can spread it via the internet now.
Pro tip. Oh, can you not just, you went down? I will put you down. Okay. She has had it with me. But yes, by the way, viruses can mutate, and RNA viruses have a high mutation rate, which is exactly what the scientists have been saying from the beginning. But what do we know? Nothing.
Exactly. Nothing. Because I think even normal people know that.
Normies?
Normies.
Know that. Not us weirdo scientists.
But your opinion only matters if you are somebody who donates lots of money to the Tory party.
Yes.
And then
I want to share
this job.
I want to share this cartoon by David Milne.
Mm-hmm.
Look, just because every other virus mutates and every single expert said all viruses do it, we couldn't possibly have predicted that COVID-19 would mutate as well. Just like no one could have possibly guessed that giving £22 billion to chancers, toffs, and a bloke Hancock met down the pub instead of to the NHS might not actually be the best idea. Now, if you excuse me, I've got another meeting to get to. Look out for that manhole! Eek! Why did nobody warn me about that? Top job you're doing, Harding. Fluff. Have another £1 billion contract. Now, there's one thing I did predict.
The chap who got, they've been dishing out huge government contracts with massive sums of money, but without any kind of bidding process whatsoever, just to their friends. And so the guy who I think got the contract for providing the vials that the vaccines live in is Wancock's mate from the pub. Wancock being the bloody health secretary.
Yeah.
It's just a bloke from the pub.
Yeah.
So I saw this guy at the pub, and he bought me a pint, and we were sitting around and eating us some crisps. He was talking about some glass vials that he had, and so I thought I'd do him a solid and get him a contract, even though nobody knows who he is. It doesn't matter. This is how I'm helping the people.
Yeah.
So there wasn't any kind of public bid open or anything.
No. But I know it sounds ridiculous, but it's true. And that's applied to every damn thing. They're dishing out huge contracts worth a lot of money.
You're talking to Americans. Did you not see at all what had happened with Ivanka and all of that racket?
It's supposed to happen like that over here.
It's not supposed to happen like that over here either. But, the Republicans thought they had a puppet, and come to find out, he completely destroyed their party. So, I'm like...
I can't remember all the dodgy contracts that have happened, but last year we had the thing for PPE equipment, which they gave to a brand new company that had no experience, had only just been formed.
Oh, we gave ours to China. It's okay. So we gave all of our PPE to China, including our ventilators. So it's all right. It's fine.
Yeah.
We didn't even have PPE for like 9 months.
Yeah, it's not like the U.S. could have seen what was happening on other continents 3 or 4 months ahead of time and started to stock up.
No, they just gave our ventilators to China, and then Elon Musk took CPAP machines, which are for sleep apnea, and said, "Hey, here's some ventilators. It's not the same thing. It's a freaking CPAP. It doesn't force air into your lungs. It just has a constant supply of oxygen so you don't choke at night." And everybody's like, "Oh, yay, look at Elon Musk. He's so great." I'm like, they can't use this.
No.
Well, our ventilator thing was very mysterious as well. And I guess we're going back to
This is we're comparing scars now.
April. Yeah. I guess it goes.
she's
But,
gone.
I scared her off with my hefty agenda.
She seems a bit unstable today.
She no, what was I saying? Oh yeah, the ventilators back in now it's been pushed. We reach out to industry. We can make these things en masse.
Oh dear, sound a bit robotic there.
Yeah, he's freezing up. We've got
StreamYard's crashed on
Uranus
me.
in the side chat now.
Oh, we have people in the
Am I
side chat.
broken?
Welcome, people.
One person.
Hello, Titan.
You said Uranus.
It's not my anus, it's your anus. Come on
Hello.
now.
Welcome.
Okay, how you doing there, Stool? You were kind of breaking up on us.
I'm just going to have to fiddle because things are not working as they should.
I'm
what you
telling
do in
you.
your spare time is none of our business.
I'm
We don't want to know about you fiddling.
I'm just rearranging my twanger.
Well, I should share. Don't scare.
You know, in the South, if you're talking about a twanger, it's probably a country singer. You got about a twang going on there. I hate modern country. I absolutely hate it. The only country music I can listen to is like really old country, like Johnny Cash, and beyond that, I'm like totally not interested in any capacity.
Some of the stuff in the 80s and 90s was okay, but yeah, you get past 2000, no.
Johnny Cash is where it stops. I like the remix. They did a remix album, a DJ did, and oh my God, it's amazing. And then when Johnny Cash did Hurt by 9 Inch Nails, I'm like, yeah, no, that song's his now.
Never heard that one.
Oh, yes. Johnny Cash Hurt, originally 9 Inch Nails with Trent Reznor. Listen, Johnny Cash, it's a completely different feel, and I love it. It's like the end of life regret. And when you hear like 9 Inch Nails, it's like middle life. I can do better. I'm still trying. But Johnny Cash sitting at this table, I mean, it's just the video is amazing. I miss Johnny Cash so much, y'all. I don't even know. Johnny Cash, Prince, but David Bowie, George Michael. I miss all of them. Carrie Fisher. I'm still not okay. I'm still not over Robin Williams' death. I can't cope. I don't even want to talk about it. Never mind.
Okay. And what's happening in India, Stool?
In where?
India.
India? Oh, I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Is there something happening? What's occurring in India, Mike? Is it on your list? Is it
Yes,
on
it
the
is.
agenda?
Does anyone
Is this
know?
Is this a segue? Oh, you actually don't know.
No, I'm just.
What's
We're just
happening in
asking
India?
random questions about
Probably
countries.
fantastic curry. You know, they do have a rat temple where you can go, and there's rats everywhere. And you can feed the rats.
People getting arrested for admitting they're not religious.
Oh, that's happening in India. Yeah, that's probably true. Yeah.
There are protests happening out there. You know, it says that India's farmers have occupied the streets surrounding the city of New Delhi, protesting at the removal of government price guarantees for their produce. They say it will decimate their profits and lead to the monopolization of agriculture by several large corporates.
I've got nothing on this.
It's been happening for more than 70 days now, apparently.
I really want a curry now. I'm sorry.
I've been devoting too much of my attention to clams, I'm
racist?
afraid.
That's not racist to want a bit of curry. Like, I haven't had Indian food in probably over a year because I haven't left my house really, except two times for socially distanced, get away from my house into a different one for a week or something.
That's a topic I should do an entire show on.
But,
you know,
apparently,
you can appreciate some things about a culture without it being racist.
Yeah.
I was only pulling your leg. But apparently,
well, I have two, so pull the other one to be even.
Okay, well, later on, but apparently Rihanna's got involved.
She should.
That's how the wider world has gotten to know about this. So the article says on Tuesday evening, pop star Rihanna shared a CNN article to her 101 million Twitter followers with the caption, "Why aren't we talking about this? #farmers protest." The post has since been liked by more than 730,000 times, becoming a top trending topic in the United States and succeeded in drawing global attention to the protests. And
I had heard something about the farmers protesting last week, but it just seemed to go by kind of fast and not, didn't see it come up again.
And Greta Thunberg tweeted about it as well. And apparently, counter-protesters have been burning effigies of Greta.
That's crap. She's just a kid, man. Y'all leave her alone. She's just a kid. She's trying to save the planet.
Takes me back to Julia Hartley Brewer, because when Greta was doing her thing a couple of years ago, sailing around places, there was another organised attack by her from certain people in this country. As I was saying before, the people who have a huge platform, famous people, not just randos. And she was saying some really shitty things about Greta, who was then legally a child, and taking the piss out of her autism.
That's crap, man.
Yeah.
She's a vile person, Hartley Brewer. Very, very vile.
She is, yeah.
Why would I don't... That makes me so mad. I deal with some crap on my own on the internet, but when you start going after kids, that just makes me want to say, okay, let me go sharpen my knives. Let me go put my armor on. We're ready for battle. Don't mess with kids. Come on, man. You want to gripe about their parents, gripe about other adults, gripe about the situation, but don't mess with kids.
What I've been bitching about most of the time for the past, year or something, all these vile people in this country are all part of this same little group funded by our version, Turning Point, which is funded by Turning Point USA, Turning Point UK, which is funded by Turning Point, which exists to tell lies to get young people to believe in the far right shit, funded by the Mercers, all that crap. So, shut up. I'm saying no more.
Did you see that in Canada they consider the Proud Boys? They listed them as a terrorist organization.
Oh,
why hasn't the US done that?
There was a mixed story. You're doing my job for me. But yes, they have officially labelled the Proud Boys as a terrorist organization.
I don't blame them. They really are.
Why didn't the U.S. list them as a terrorist organization when they uncovered the plot to kidnap the governor of Michigan? How was that not a terrorist act?
They are white. They're not the right color of people, purple. You know this. They're white. So they're just troubled young people.
Yep.
Some of them are 60, but they're still young at heart. They just need hugs. And they need tolerance. They need to have their own special diets when they're in jail, like the little shaman dude. He has a very sensitive tummy, guys. We really need to take into consideration that these poor white men who have never known a good thing in their life, have always been oppressed by everything on the planet. They're just speaking the truth, man.
Yeah, and that kid, Kyle Righthouse, who shot the two people in the...
He broke his own bail.
Yeah, that apparently he moved 2 months ago and didn't tell the courts.
There was a lawyer I saw that retweeted that and said, I'm a lawyer. If Kyle had been black and been 10 minutes late, she was like, I've represented black people who were 10 minutes late to their court case and they were revoked bail. 10 minutes
Yeah.
late to a court case. Kyle Rittenhouse. Oh, yeah. Sorry. My bad. Can I not be in trouble?
He was accused of killing 2 people, and he lived in a different state. Why was he ever allowed bail in the first place if he was retreating to a jurisdiction they couldn't reach him?
And we've got Laura here now.
Hello
Hey,
there.
Laura.
Hi.
Hi.
I know. I haven't seen
Welcome.
you around for ages.
I know. Where you been? What you doing? How are you?
Today I fainted.
No.
Yeah.
Did
I
you
know.
faint into the arms of a good-looking person?
No.
And they were like, oh,
no.
I'm
I
feeling
fainted
pain.
into the bottom of the onto the shower mat. Sorry, on the bathroom floor mat.
Are you okay?
I hope you didn't hit your head on anything.
Okay. So what happened was I've got hypothyroidism.
Oh no.
And
Okay.
so I wake up. I take the thyroid pills, and I've got to wait 30 minutes before I'm allowed to eat. Otherwise, it stops them working. I don't know how. So what happened was that I thought, well, I'll tell you what, I'll go and have a shower because I need to have a shower. My hair's a mess. So I went and had a shower, and because I'm tall, I sit in the shower because that way, if you can imagine the cone of the spray coming out of the shower head, if I stand up, I've got like about maybe 6-inch.
So you're like Elf. You're like the guy who was in Elf, who was at the little elf shower, and you're like standing there. Okay, yeah. I've got the image.
So I sit down, and my left leg went numb.
Oh,
so when I went to get up to get out, and actually, I couldn't get my leg to fold out underneath me. Because like my whole right foot was numb and floppy and everything. So I ended up having to sort of go sideways, and unfortunately I got a couple of handlebars in the bath because it's a shower bath next thing. So I managed to get up, and that's when all the blood rushed to my head. And after a couple of moments, it's like, okay, this doesn't seem to be going away. So I decided to get out of the bath and sit on the edge of the bath and kind of stick my head down. And the next thing I know, I wake up, I come to, and I'm sat on the floor.
Well, at least you didn't hit your head or anything like that.
No, fortunately. So, so basically, I sat there for about 5 minutes in the cold, trying to do breathing to sort of, in the nose, out the mouth, and so then I got food on the way to the sofa and just sat there, and I'm better now.
That's
good. I went for a nap. Sorry, I went for a nap and I woke up about 30 minutes ago.
Okay, Laura. Apparently, you need to do a bit of an introduction. We have people in the audience who don't know you.
Oh, I'm Laura. I'm an atheist. Been sort of around for years. Used to be Cliff Jumper 24, if you've ever heard of that person. I'm transgendered, so I sort of rebranded myself because being called Cliff sounds like a guy. So that was that. Yeah.
Fair enough.
Okay.
Although I appreciate the Transformers reference.
Yes. Ironically, I have transformed literally now. But yeah, and it's all going very well for me. And unfortunately, COVID has stopped my transition because the general identity clinic system in the UK is incredibly slow and very medicalized. And it's like everybody else has got the memo that I'm not mentally deranged. It's not a mental illness or just a thing anymore. But unfortunately, the NHS system is very slow at changing its policies. So you got to sit on a waiting list for years. I mean, I'm looking at 4 years before I get hormones, and I'm about a year in if we ignore the fact that everything's been closed for a year thanks to COVID.
Wow.
Where can people find you?
I've got a YouTube channel.
On the bathroom floor.
So if you just type in YouTube /CliffJumper24, you'll find me there.
Cool. Anywho, where was I? Oh yes, we're talking about Canada. Canada formally labeling the Proud Boys a terrorist organization.
Yes.
Oh my gosh! Do you know what's made me chuckle about this whole insurrection again on the Capitol thing. So Trump's defense is going to be that this election was stolen again from underneath him. And the guys that are, in court for the insurrection stuff, their defense is Trump put me up to it.
Yeah.
That's what they're saying now. They're saying, because they're looking for any defense they can get to avoid going to jail for quite some time.
The shaman guy is doing that. He's like, I did it because Trump told me to.
Yeah. So I wonder what can happen. Will the Trump impeachment be able to say, well, actually, the legal defense for all these people, is Trump put me up to it, which is exactly what we're saying in the first place.
Right.
It's funny how it's a vicious circle. So yeah. Oh yeah. Sorry, on Twitter as well. Now _being_Laura.
What I think is probably going to happen is the Republicans will be like, oh, they're just saying that to get out of jail. That's probably going to be their angle.
Yeah.
They're not telling the truth. They're just lying. They're criminals. Look at them.
Yeah.
I want to start placing bets. And there's no way they're going to convict him. They don't have enough votes in the Senate. That's not going to happen. But hopefully the trial will last long enough to where constituents will turn on the senators and bug the crap out of them. I hope. I don't know. I still have my neighbor still. It's funny. My neighbor still has a Trump flag up. And it was like one of those long flags, and he's hanging it by 2 pegs. It's now just drifting off of 1.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just like, you're just hanging on by a thread right there, aren't you? It's very symbolic. You're like, I'm still here.
Well, hopefully in 2022, some of the people will remember how their senators voted for this, and it will help the Democrats keep hold of the Senate in the midterm.
The thing is, I look at American politics and I see how it is utterly polarized. For the Republicans, the idea of doing any form of compromise is like a bad thing. Mm-hmm. And so, and not only that, the media, the news media, is like propaganda channels. That CNN and MSNBC are the Democratic propaganda channel, and Fox News is the Republican propaganda channel. I mean, I saw something on Twitter. I haven't actually checked this up, but I saw something on Twitter saying that they didn't even Fox News didn't even show the eulogy thing for the officer that got killed at the Capitol. Mm-hmm. They didn't even show it. I mean, maybe they had it on the news. Yeah, this thing happened, but they didn't live show it like everybody else did.
Right. Well, they can't do that. Their viewers wouldn't care to see that.
Yeah, and yet aren't the Republicans the sort of law and order party?
Not really. That's what they say,
but
it doesn't. But that doesn't pertain to them. They're two-faced. I mean, look at freaking Ted Cruz. We need to promote unity. Why? You were all about this insurrection. You were involved. Why do you want unity and leniency now? We need to put this behind us because you're a freaking traitor.
Well, here's the thing from the news earlier today that CNN reported it with the headline, Biden signs executive order expanding healthcare access. And Fox News put the same footage up with the headline, Biden signs order on far left health priorities.
Yes.
Do you know, Ted Cruz makes me chuckle? Because if you think about it, if Trump isn't allowed to, be stand for office ever again, that means that he has a much better chance of winning in his ability, because he wanted to be president a couple of times already. So it stands in his way. Trump stands in his way. So why is he bending over backwards to help him? And the other thing that makes me another one.
Laura's roboting.
Yeah.
Beaten by Carson, the Dr. Carson guy.
Ben
the-
Carson. Oh
Ben
God,
Carson,
this is.
that's it.
We learned that education doesn't make you smart.
The pyramid silos. That guy. And the thing is, at that time, Ben Carson wasn't even running. He quit. So he Ted Carson beat Ted Cruz, even though Ben Carson had quit then.
Did you know that Ted Cruz tried to outlaw dildos in Texas?
Yes,
Not
I did
at all
know
surprising.
that.
He was worried about sex toys.
That's the thing, though. How could, I mean, he'd effectively be banning himself.
I mean, that's true. He would sell. I mean, wasn't he one for Trump for a little while? I think maybe.
Well,
he was
an
like,
anti-Trumper
"Yes,
first.
Mr. Trump, please insert me into your anus."
Yeah.
Well, and the thing
I live there.
The thing I don't get with Pence is why is Pence willing to do anything to help Trump when Trump literally sent a mob intent on killing him?
I mean, they built a freaking gallows.
Yeah.
So,
But Trump in his speech literally called out Pence by name as one of the traitors they had to go after.
Yeah, I'm into model trains. I'm good at woodwork, but I can tell you for sure that those gallows were only symbolic because they wouldn't be able to hold anything.
No.
Still, the intention is there.
Oh yeah.
Now, if they had gone with a guillotine, I've been like, okay, let's eat the rich. But that wasn't what they were doing. That's not at all.
They obviously wouldn't have worked, but look at the kind of people who built them.
Yeah.
These are not America's finest.
Oh my God. My favorite thing has been watching these morons get arrested off of planes. And it's like, I'm on the no-fly list? What?
Yeah.
No!
Yeah.
Don't treat me like a black person. That was just like, there was one person that was like tackled to the ground at the airport who was this white dude. You're treating me like a black person. And he screams this out. And I'm like, he's almost there. He's almost there. He's getting closer.
Yeah. Well,
and their original thing about the whole Capitol, insurrection or riot or whatever you want to call it, was that it was something that occurred on the spur of the moment. And yet they had this gallows all set to bring there and assemble it. That was not built on site.
They had T-shirts they were selling about a civil war for January 6th.
Yeah.
I mean...
They've been talking about civil war for years now.
I mean, they were like, okay, stop the steal. Stop. It's just, oh my God.
Yeah.
I am so glad that I get to teach college because I don't know that I could deal with any of these people's kids right now in public school where I live.
Yeah.
Like for real. I mean, there were people from the county where I live that went there. And I'm like, oh my God. And they're probably going to be investigated. So, I mean, it's just like, I taught these people's kids. And I'm so glad I don't do that anymore because...
I still think the most dangerous thing that's going on with American politics is that polarized media. Because have you ever watched a TV show called The Orville?
Yes, I love the Orville. When's the next season, by the way? Because I need it.
Yeah, but in the first season, there was an episode where, some guys have gone missing on a planet. They go down, and everybody's wearing a badge, a pin, with an up and a red up at green arrow and a red down arrow.
Oh yeah, I know the episode you mean.
Okay, so what happens is one of them grinds against the statue and his numbers just start going down like crazy. And if you get like 3 million or whatever it was down votes, you get lobotomized. So he ends up being arrested, and instead of having lawyers, they just have like a publicity guy, and you've got to go on the talk shows and basically try to prove that you're not an arsehole, a complete arsehole.
It's basically boiling the whole legal system down to Twitter.
Yes. Yeah. But there's a bit at the end of it which is so telling, and it gets right to the nail of it. So they've got an alien on the spaceship, and they're hacking into the Twitter sphere thing. And they're putting in lies about him, like he was a fat kid that got thin. He looked up, you know, he was in the military, and he comes home to a dog, and he's, oh, I missed you while I was at war, that kind of stuff.
Yeah, and then it got all the sympathy.
Yeah, and they're trying to stop that going down.
Right.
So one of the people on the crew, she turns to this lady, she says, "Won't anybody check this?" And the girl just looks at her in a sort of blasé. Oh, don't worry, they won't.
They won't. They don't
This
care.
is exactly the problem.
Let me just say, I fucking love Seth MacFarlane. I don't think people give him enough credit. He put his own money into bringing back Cosmos with Neil deGrasse Tyson. He paid for that.
Awesome.
He was the producer of that. And that was one of the things when I met Neil deGrasse Tyson a couple years ago. I went over there. I had him sign my first edition Carl Sagan Cosmos. And he was just like, wow. He was like, I know. And he misspelled channeling. He was like channeling Carl Neil Tyson.
Yeah.
And I told him, I said, could you do me a favor? And he said, yeah, what? I said, could you please tell Seth MacFarlane that this science communicator, scientist Mel, and I told him where I live, says thank you for putting his own money into Cosmos and bringing that show back, because at the time I was a high school teacher, and it's amazing. He wanted to bring back science to prime time, and that's the main reason why he did it. He was like, we need science literacy. So I don't think a lot of people understand. Yeah, Seth MacFarlane, he makes a lot of dick and fart jokes, but he truly is an advocate for science education.
I didn't know he was putting his own money into that.
Yeah, he did. He put his own money into Cosmos. He got Carl Sagan's widow. I forgot her name. I feel like a jerk. She got involved with the writing. He used his own special effects, same effects they kind of used for the Orville, and got really good, orchestration. He got to a point where he funneled his own money, produced the show. So next time you watch Cosmos, look for that little producer credit. He brought it back.
Cool.
I love him.
Hello, Peter.
Hey, Peter.
Hello.
And Peter comes in with the puppied upstage, everyone.
I need IQ points. I saw Laura, I saw Mel. I thought I need to jump in. I need IQ points. I think I lost.
You can have some of mine. I got a gold emoji. Gold poop emoji.
I lost all of them.
I'm a shithead now.
Have you been watching Fox News again?
No. I hosted a debate on Arn Ross channel. Arn wasn't even part of it, and oh damn.
Yeah, I saw that go up on Twitter. I'll have to look at that later tonight.
Oh, that was hilarious. Lamps.
By the way, Mel, her name is Anne.
Oh, Anne Sagan?
Yeah.
That's right. You're right. Yeah. Thank you. I feel like a jerk.
I didn't remember. I did look it up.
That's okay. Anne is really awesome.
I wanted to say something about how the media is. So I'm going to use the opposite side. This time I'm going to go with the Democrat-leaning media. Mm-hmm. So I like a show called The Rachel Maddow Show. I love the way she kind of tells this weaving story often. And in one of the ones, there was a Trump thing where a plane was flying from the Middle East, and instead of landing in Germany, American airbase in Germany, or even South Britain area, it had landed at Prestwick Airport, and the crew, instead of staying at the local motel for the night, they'd gone like 45 minutes down the road and stayed at a Trump place, which is basically putting money in Trump's pocket.
Right.
Rather than just, staying at the ship motel for cheap for the night. Bed and breakfast equivalent. Well, what was added into that article was that it was really, really, really rare for the planes to land there. And it's like, no, because I know military stuff. My parents were in the Air Force and I still have an interest in that. Get magazine every month and everything. And a cargo, C-17 cargo plane doesn't have brilliant range. I mean, it's like a long distance range. It's enough to get across the Atlantic. So they land if they landed at Lakenheath or Mildenhall rather, or somewhere like Spanheim in Germany, they would have to stop at Canada to refuel, because the ferry range is okay, but it's going to have cargo on it, so it's going to be at least half the range, which is only enough to give it about 3,500 miles, maybe. Which would put it in. You'd either have to land in Canada, or you'd have to air-to-air refuel, which is stupidly crazy, or you land at Prestwick and then fly the next day, because that way your crew's rested, because it's a long distance. It's a good 7-8 hours. And it's effectively, the real story was, the defense ministry, or whatever you want to call it, had them stay at a Trump place, and that's the story. This extra, it's really rare. They don't normally do this, and and the reason is because the fuel costs more and stuff like that. No, it means that from Prestwick you can go straight in with a cargo plane full of stuff, and you can fly straight into Dover Air Force Base in Delaware.
Yeah.
Okay. And anyway, moving on to the next story. Should Trump be stripped of his rights to receive intelligence briefings?
Yes.
He's a civilian now, so he shouldn't have any intelligence briefings.
Can we strip him of all of his rights and just put him in prison where he belongs?
He needs
that.
to be in jail.
Yeah.
Yes.
Physical jail.
Physical jail.
Oh my God.
Physical jail.
But apparently, it is a right of former presidents to continue, getting intelligence briefings.
I mean,
Obama still gets intelligence briefings.
If it's relevant to his safety, that's different.
I have an idea.
Civilian.
Can Mel and I write the intelligence briefings? I mean,
no. What we need to do is just give him some coloring books and crayons, and say, "Here you go."
Give him the weirdest conspiracy theories ever, and have that confirmed.
I did hear somebody promoting an idea which I support, which is to basically give him false intelligence reports, because then we can see which governments he's passing it to.
Right.
I have to vote in the negative, because I think that Trump getting intelligence briefings is about the only way he actually gets to intelligence at all. Intelligence, because he's not a smart guy.
I'm still expecting.
By the way, that's not me being serious. That's supposed to be a joke. People are supposed to laugh at this.
I'm still expecting, as all these civil suits start getting resolved and he realizes he doesn't really have any money, that he's probably going to leave the country.
That maybe he can go to Mother Russia.
Well, that's what I'm thinking, that Russia will take him in if they think he has some information they can use.
And then his body will be found in the river somewhere.
Yep.
This is from the article from Forbes.com. It says White House Press Secretary Jen Psaki confirmed Monday that Biden administration is weighing whether to strip former President Donald Trump of his access to intelligence briefings, a luxury typically granted to former presidents, after some outside officials expressed concern that Trump will exploit the information and use it to his personal advantage.
He would.
Well, of course he can. Of course he'll auction it off.
In a heartbeat. If he's going to make money off of it, in a heartbeat.
He's broke. So, I mean, he needs money right now. His debts are coming due. I really thought he was going to make a run for it to Mexico. Like on the inauguration day. I was so certain he was going to make a run for it. I was like, he's going to use Air Force One and make a run for it.
Actually, he was trying to. The problem is that with COVID, the travel restrictions, because he had actually scheduled an Air Force plane to be going from Washington, D.C. to Scotland the day before the inauguration. And the Scottish Prime Minister said, "We do not consider this travel to be necessary in the current situation."
You don't get to come here.
Nicola Sturgeon, the First Minister of Scotland, she said,
I love her. They like the golf course with the lady holding Trump as a cunt.
Yeah. So I do wonder how many countries he kind of tried that with that wouldn't give him clearance to come into the country.
But most probably wouldn't, except for maybe Korea, probably Russia. But it's
well, especially because there's a pretty good chance he's still carrying the COVID and could still infect other people.
Yeah, that too. But if he has intelligence that's useful to our enemies, then they'll be like, "Yeah, come on, we'll let you stay over here."
On Azerbaijan,
it speaks. Wait, it speaks. All this time, I was thinking, what's the hamster doing there in the top screen?
What I'm like? I'm letting the ladies speak.
That's the only time he hears ladies speak is when he's on a live stream. He's like he's starved for the voice of ladies.
I have to say, Twanger, I love your background. Is the rest of the number before 055 what was it, 081811855
No, that was the new version. The original version was actually the second version was 018118055, which started I think in August of 1978. Previous to that, there was a London area dialing code that you're probably not aware of, but I'm not going to bore you with that.
Yeah, just for the people who don't understand what I'm talking about, there's a TV show called Swap Shop, and that's the background.
Yes,
I'm pretty sure Stool's in love with scientist Mel, and wants
I think so. I'm really quite tired of getting pictures of his shrine. He has a shrine. And he's like, look, I added this to my shrine today. And I'm like, it's an action figure from Into the Spider-Verse. He thinks I'm Doc Ock. So he's added that there. And I'm like, Stool, man, for real. You need to go take a walk or something. Take a walk.
Somebody on the wireless, one of the tech guys on the wireless yesterday was talking about how, how all the old boring people started using Zoom last year, including politicians, and they used the virtual background shit.
Yes.
And apparently the BBC made available lots of photos of sets that are empty, of people. And it's really actually quite cool. If you go to BBC, have a look. And
really?
All the shows that you love from decades, you've got empty sets, which you, if you choose to, you can use as your virtual background. Why anybody would do that is beyond me, because I think it's sad.
There you are with in the background.
But Doctor Who, though.
There's some good Doctor Who ones.
Wait a minute, Stool. You're saying that it is sad to have a background of an old TV show behind you when it clearly says Swap Shop.
No, this is real, Peter.
Well,
Yes.
well, Swap Shop Shaggers.
That background is as real as your working lighter.
Well, the green screen is on my project list.
Peter, have you seen my new toy?
Go ahead, show it.
Right.
Is that a glove?
It's inside the glove.
Oh, I'm scared, guys. He's gonna have something weird in there.
Did Ted Cruz ban this?
Okay.
It looked like a sex toy more than a glove. Oh, wait a minute.
Okay, what?
Okay.
It's a pink. What is that?
You can't read the brand name on it, Peter, but it says Zippo. And it's very large.
You have a lighter that looks like one of those Croc shoes.
It's
I was
very
going to say
large.
the Croc, yeah.
Hey,
Yeah,
listen,
it's a
this is
pocket
really-
warmer. I've seen those.
This is so cool. You keep it in your glove, or wherever you choose to keep it. I'm not judging. And it stays warm, literally. Mine is 12 hours. I used it for the first time, and it lasted 48 hours. And it's hot.
Yeah, those are popular with hunters.
Nice.
You're getting some hot action at your swap shop.
Yeah.
Most action you've seen in a while, huh?
Why do I come here?
What?
Nothing but abuse and persecution.
Whereas sophisticated people have a small pouch that they can put on their belt
Yeah, we've heard
and
about your small pouch, Peter.
can open it, and that's where you can put your real Zippo.
This is a
See?
real Zippo.
So
It's
you will
just
never
bigger than
lose
yours.
it.
It's just bigger and hotter than yours. Now,
Yeah.
So you
just
put it in the
accept it.
glove so you can have warm hands later? Is that it?
Anyway.
Why not have a more insulated glove then? Because the heat's going to go through the fabric, man.
No, don't even
Anyway.
attempt to scientism me with this one.
You need more scientism in your life because
I've been experimenting with this for like 3 days now. I've had my glove on for 3 days. Look.
What's your control?
The next question would be, why would you need one warm hand?
he's trying to be Michael Jackson.
I don't think so. He's been watching those beaver videos that we linked him to.
Oh,
And now
Stop sending me beaver videos, Peter, you dirty
hold
pervert.
on.
You know the difference between a Zippo and a hippo.
Oh my goodness,
Oh, God.
guys! I
A
have to
Zippo
bring out.
is a little lighter.
I'm just saying, I can only think of one activity for which you would need one warm hand.
The beaver
saying.
video. Beaver.
Germania, he's British. He's British. He's not real
he's
Brit.
British.
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 Northern. Whereabouts in the north are you?
Oop, north.
Sorry.
I think he's from Yorkshire.
No, I'm not at all.
He's near.
No,
you
Are
don't
you
sound
near
like it.
Manchester?
It's from Greater Manchester.
Lauren knows
Manchester.
where I'm
Well,
from because
No one actually
about this.
speaks like
From-
that. He's a TV
from-
character from a mythological country.
Just from the way he dresses, you can say he's not from Essex.
Hey, Jenny.
You can tell
by
the way I.
Hi, Jenny.
She's just Jenny from the block.
Yeah. Anywho,
Yeah, anywho,
Some
let me
sci-
finish my scientism in because scientism Mel just dissed my science skills. I've
I
been
didn't
wearing-
diss your science skills. I was trying to add to it and make it more effective.
it
That's what
stays-
science does, man.
it
Why you
stays
hating on me?
warm for a very long time, and because I'm doing science, I'm wearing it in one glove. I'm doing it now. You can't tell, but I'm doing it now. And on the other hand, I am wearing nothing. Now the reason I'm doing this is some. It's
I
like
don't.
an-
We don't want to know what's going on later with your hands.
It's a controlled experiment, you see. Also,
Yeah.
I've lost my other glove.
Yeah, and also, if you start looking more like Michael Jackson, you're going to have a problem keeping those glasses where they are right now.
Simone.
That's the new rule, Mike. Every time somebody says Michael Jackson, we've all got to go, hee hee,
Shimon.
Shimon, motherfucker.
Shimon.
Anyways, the news.
Is Michael Jackson in the news?
No, not this week. But Captain Sir Tom Moore sadly died at the age of 100.
Tom
Yes.
Moore.
Yes.
He was
And-
a World War II guy who
Oh, okay.
did laps in
remember
the
now.
garden to raise money for the NHS.
I hear you. Okay.
And instead
Apparently-
of doing, I think it was like 100,000 he was trying to get, and he ended up getting more like 11 million.
Well,
He set out originally to get 1,000
to be honest-
quid, and he ended
To
up
be
getting
honest-
39 million.
Yeah.
The guy was 100 years old, and proved that you can, with 100 years old and a Zimmer frame, that you can be more active than Stool. So
This is
Apparently He
true.
was a very, he
Lord.
was a very big fan of Michael Jackson.
I need a better stand. Oh my god. Okay. Sorry.
That's
Yeah,
what Captain Tom said.
there was the only thing that kind of disappointed me is that for Christmas he went to Barbados with his family, and then he got COVID. And it's like, but sort of, and there's the duality there, because at the same time I'm thinking, well, it was on his bucket list, and he was 100.
Yeah,
And he
that's the
did then kick
thing.
the bucket. So, but the thing is, it wasn't illegal to go to the Barbados then, because
No.
our country's so awesome that we could still go anywhere that would take us.
I hope he didn't suffer much. The new variant is pretty bad. We're seeing people dying within a few days from organ failure.
He was taken into hospital with pneumonia, and
I
he
see.
lasted a couple of days.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, one of the things, and it's going to go back to the sort of American healthcare industry, and it's more of an industry than a healthcare system. But
True.
one of the things that sort of is an interesting one for me is, you know how the Republicans don't like the idea of having like healthy people? They want to feed into this healthcare system, and Obamacare is bad and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, they don't believe in prevention or any
The
of that.
whole preconditions thing is like, no. They shouldn't have to insure people with pre-existing conditions. Well, the thing is, COVID, if it doesn't kill you, it can make you really
Yes.
sick, screw up your lungs or your liver or whatever.
That's
And
going to be
you can
considered
then
a
end up
pre-existing
having-
condition.
Exactly. You could end up with, I mean, you've lost how many thousands of people now?
I think it was 400,000 like a couple weeks ago, but
Yeah.
it's
you're
probably going up
nearly-
then. So
Yeah, you're
That's
nearly
nothing.
half a billion people. No, 500,000 people. Sorry.
We're
By the time this thing is over,
Mhm.
But
Well- that even if only 10% of them get, 10% more people end up with pre-existing conditions thanks to COVID, that's a lot of people that are going to be injured for the rest of their lives.
I mean, to be quite honest, I have family that have contracted COVID. My sister, her husband, and their child. My mother and my stepdad have contracted COVID. My sister did not go to her primary care physician. She went to like a regular like an emergency medical clinic. And I have been pushing so hard for her to go to another doctor because she has autoimmune disease. My niece already has respiratory issues. She seems to be okay right now. My brother-in-law, he's back at work, but he can't walk very far with he has to sit down because he can't catch his breath. My mom and my stepdad actually went to the doctor and they got antibody treatments, so they're doing better. But my sister's probably a long hauler. Her hair's falling out. She has really bad. She has the neurological symptoms. And right now, like my niece is staying at home, and my sister is a former primary school teacher. She's teach kindergarten. She can teach primary school. She's struggling with the basic math.
Yeah.
Just the basic math. So she's got the neurological issues, and she's already got autoimmune disease. So she's probably going to be a long hauler. And I'm really kind of upset because I was like, this is how you clean everything. This is how you wear a mask. This is what you need to do. You need to wipe down your groceries. You need to have a separate place for that. I've like detailed, explicit instructions. But since her husband goes out and works, he brought it back. They still wanted him to work, even though he had the virus.
oh God.
They still wanted him to work. And they're like, and my brother-in-law is like, this is, no. And he ended up getting pneumonia along with COVID-19
Oh my gosh.
and had to go to the hospital. He's okay. They're all okay right now, but they're going to be long haulers. And it's just,
I wonder if he was working in retail, how many other people he was exposed to each day.
he works for a grocery company where he interacts with the drivers to take all of that. So he's in a management position. So one of the drivers had COVID-19 and passed it along to him.
And
And
not,
so-
I mean, well, think about it this way. I get my groceries delivered, and so if he's infected, he could infect the driver. The driver comes and delivers my groceries. I get infected.
Yep.
Well, I mean, and the thing is, it can exist on some packaging. I have two tables. I have a table in my foyer and I have a table in my garage. Right now, I primarily use the table in my foyer, but as soon as my groceries come or I pick them up, I put them on that table. I wipe them all down. I have a clean side of the table, put them in new bags, bags that are not infected with anything. I have laboratory grade viricide that I bought on Amazon, and you can dilute it, and it's cheaper than Lysol, and it works just brilliantly. Wipe all that down, put it in the bags, carry it to my kitchen. Nothing leaves that room until it's wiped down. And when I leave my house, I wear masks. I change my clothes when I get home. I'm so used to the, decontamination kind of thing from my science background. It's like I wear different clothes when I go out. I do have reusable masks, but I hand wash them in hot water with soap so it doesn't mess up the integrity of the fabric. Yep. I recently got in some Korean masks. I think it's K94 or something like that. They're not quite N95 level, but they're close. So that is going to be coupled with my fabric mask because of the new variant. So it's like, even when I try to order takeout from time to time to help the local restaurants. When they bring the packages, I spray down the packages. They have to put them on my porch. I go to my porch, pick up the food, bring them to the table, sanitize all of the packaging. Then after I wipe it all down, I take it to the kitchen and then I heat it up in the microwave for an additional minute, just in case there's any virus on the food. That should take care of it. Then I eat the food. Okay. I know it's a whole freaking process, but I don't want this virus.
One of the things that's, the efficacy of masks, just generally wearing masks, is very easily shown by Japan.
Yes.
Japan has has a higher population than the UK. They've got about 130 million people. We have 64. Okay.
Right.
And they've had about 5,500 deaths in Japan. People live much closer together.
Yeah, the density in the cities is a lot higher.
Yes, and they've mostly got cities. If you look at a map of Japan, where all the cities are, that's where the flatland is. Everything else is mountains and volcanoes and things like that. So everyone, there's like just a long line of cities all the way across from Tokyo down to, like Osaka and lots of other places as well. But if you have a cold in Japan, if you look at video games, Japanese video games, they're very, very social ones, working as a team, stuff like that. And that's a symptom of the attitude to people in Japan. So if you've got a cold, you wear a mask because you don't want to infect your friend or your work colleagues or someone on the train or something like that. So you wear a mask.
It's integrated.
So because it's so integrated into the culture, as you say, Mel, COVID wearing masks, you just wear masks because that's what you're supposed to do. In Britain, people are like, I can't be bothered with that. And then you've got the people that I refuse to wear one, because and then you got the Americans that piss me off with it, who are saying like, it's infringing on my civil liberties. It's like, what? Are red traffic lights infringing on your civil liberties? Because it's the same thing. If you don't obey the rules, people get hurt or killed.
Well,
But,
and the Americans who bitch about the constitutional rights miss that there's a clause in the Constitution that says individual rights can be suspended in the event of a national emergency.
Yeah.
Anyways, I've got one more story, my And Finally story.
Yay. Is it about Michael Jackson?
Not Shimon, not this time, but
Motherfucker. Motherfucker.
I'll share the screen first.
I do hope it's Michael Jackson.
You're too excited about Michael Jackson. I'm worried.
Shimon.
So there was this aerobics instructor who wasn't aware of the military coup happening right behind her. There she is. And she was making this aerobics video for her viewers on YouTube.
Yeah.
All the while, The
hit
coup was
control.
happening right behind it.
Hit control and minus, and that'll make that slightly smaller, that picture for you.
Okay.
Control minus.
If I can find
On your
control.
keyboard.
Top
Yeah.
right. There you go. There you go.
Okay.
Oh,
That's too small.
That's a bit too small now.
control plus.
Now plus.
Right.
Yeah.
There you go.
Oh,
Okay.
Too much. There we go.
Okay, that's good. All right, there you go.
But there she goes.
Okay, it looks like she's
Doing her
doing
thing.
some traditional stances associated with maybe Taekwondo.
Yeah, it's just her warm-up routine.
Okay.
Oh, I admire her hair. I used to have a high ponytail.
And there's the military coup happening right behind her.
Yeah, but she never turned around, so she didn't see any of this.
Oh my gosh, I wonder how many joke videos are made right now with all kinds of different songs in the background.
Oh, I can just imagine something else. I can imagine the Bernie Sanders picture.
Yeah.
Yep. Oh yeah, this has been going around Twitter already.
It's like, this is fine. But she's got some moves, I'll give her that. She's got the moves like Jagger.
Oh, I thought you were going to say like Michael Jackson.
The irony about it all is that if you think about it, what's happened in Myanmar is the sort of equivalent of an insurrection, but it's obviously a military coup. And of course, why did they do it? Because there was voter fraud going on. The voter fraud being the people who I wanted to get in were getting. I didn't want to get in. Were getting in.
Yeah. And we were talking about it earlier, Laura. I mean, before you joined us, and we were talking about Aung San Suu Kyi. How years ago when she was under house arrest, we all loved her, but then she got into power and did a genocide, and now the tables have turned. People hate her now because she's become the very thing that she used to protest against.
Yeah, I have to say, if I was in a relationship with someone committing a genocide, would be kind of a deal breaker.
I think the difficulty is that, I don't know, I'm sort of spitballing here, I suppose, but I think we have to be very careful of thinking that she had power. Because, effectively, the military still had the power. She was almost like a figurehead and she had a bit of power. And unfortunately, we have no way of knowing whether she was in for that whole Rohingya Muslim, genocide thing, or whether that was a military thing and that she basically had a choice of you fight against them and she loses all that power and they do the coup then, as they've done now, or whether just, is the equivalent of a yes man kind of thing, saying, the government did this, and so the military did this, and I'm a sort of figurehead, so I've got to back them, otherwise I'll use my power. So I don't know. I think it's very difficult because it's very easy for us in the West and our democratic systems to forget that maybe things don't work quite that way, and there's a lot of stuff under the surface. So it's more a warning of, don't be too quick to judge.
Yeah. And anyways, I'm going to wrap things up now. But it's been great. It's been a great show. I've really enjoyed it. I've never had so many people with me.
Hey.
I think this is a record.
Yay!
It's a 6 record.
Yeah.
You know who else made good records?
Shimon!
the guy that worked here.
I just want to
Stu.
point out an interesting little Michael Jackson fact for you. You know that whole
Go
thing
on.
with his nose melting and stuff like that? That came
Yeah.
right after Black and White, Black or White. And in the middle of that one, there's a bit where he's running through flame.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Coincidence? I don't think so.
His nose fell off during that one, and his hair fell off in. That was also no, it wasn't Black or White. What was the other one? The one where he
Pepsi
turns
advert.
into a.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that could be it. What's the one where he turned into a leopard?
I don't know.
Earth
I,
Song? Was it
I
Earth
think-
Song?
It's the one with the cool bit at the end where they do the morphing.
oh yeah, that's
Yeah,
that's the same one that Laura was talking about.
Yeah.
Black and
That's
White?
Black
No,
or White, isn't it?
Black and White.
no
yes.
Black
and
or
White.
White is... is that the one where he turns into a black lady with frizzy hair?
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Because all the
Yeah,
faces are
I
changing.
wondered what you were talking about then, but yes, he did. Yeah, that was really cool in its day. That morphing at the end, it was really rather good. But that's
Yeah.
before
And
we knew that
yeah.
he was a bit of a weirdo.
Yeah.
But Stu, let's test your knowledge. Who worked here?
I can't see it, Peter. It's too small and far away. I'm not making you big, Peter.
No, you can't make me big
No, I can
because
make
you're
it
not the one.
I really can't tell what that is. Oh dear. Go on, help me out.
Oh,
It's Grace Brothers.
Oh, is it? Oh, of
Yes.
course, yeah.
You said a famous singer, Mr. Humphreys. I've got 2 of his records. 2.
Ah.
Well,
Yeah.
I will have once I can repair my crashed hard drive. Then I'll have 2 again.
Ah. Anyway, on that bombshell, I will bid you all good night.
bye-bye.
And people watching at home, if you've liked this video and you'd like to see more, then do subscribe and hit the bell icon so you never miss another video. Okay,
And
bye
hit-
for now.
Hit the like button.
Good night, all.
Thumb up.
Come on, mother.